Hello, crackheads and crack friends. Before we get into the episode, we're professionals. We're very professional people. During this recording, one of the mics weren't plugged in fully, so there's just going to be this annoying humming sound the entire time. I'm sorry. I can't do much about that. I tried to edit it out, but it's really hard to get out that one frequency and frequency. I don't know how to do it, so I'm sorry if this ruins the entire episode. But please enjoy. Follow us on everything. I don't know. Thank you. I love you guys. Back to the episode.
So right now,
High school.
Sorry.
You're good.
hello and welcome to Cracking the Vault, the podcast where we're going through every Walt Disney Pictures release in order. My name is Xander,
I'm Jake.
And I'm Trevor.
And I'm Rachel.
and we're seemingly all very sleepy right now.
I'm not. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
No,
I
I'm
think it
chilling.
was just a long movie, so I'm kind of just.
Oh, yeah, no,
I'm like
I-
in a relaxed state. I'm just
Yeah.
like chilled.
I have my choice words about how long this movie and why it shouldn't be as long as it is.
We've been
But
battered into submission by the movie, and we're here
I'm
now.
chilling. Now.
It's nice to know that grossly overextended movies have been a thing for a long time.
How's everyone feeling?
I feel amazing. I
Yeah.
had tea.
Yeah?
I have a lot of energy right now. That's when you said we're all seemingly tired. I'm like, no, I have so much energy.
Well, that's never true for you, Trevor, because, like, you exist at one wavelength, seemingly.
Yeah, and multiple wavelengths makes me scary. Sorry, there's the lisp now. Multiple. I can't.
I think I live on multiple wavelengths.
The lisp.
Fuck you.
On
multiple wave-
You and you and
Wave-
you.
What the fuck?
Wavelengths.
You exist on
multiple
multiple.
ones. Yeah.
Yours
Wavelengths.
is
I
like
got it.
yours is like 5 that are always going at once, and sometimes in the blue and they go dink, and then they'll move back. To,
Yeah.
They'll move back to the 5 again.
And then Trevor is more like a radio, I'd say. It's like you're kind of tuning into frequencies and like, oh, this is what's on Trevor right now.
The difference is you never find the right. Like it's that you're just keep trying to find 102.9 or whatever, and
It
just
goes like 102.7, 103.1.
Yeah, it's like you can kinda hear it.
102.8.
yeah, you can kind of hear it. It's just very fuzzy, and you're like, okay, I have to listen through static, but I can hear the channel, and that's how my brain works.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Okay.
70 years old.
Ew. Ew.
That's how the 50. Anyways, math.
I mean, the original book is like over a century old.
Yeah, but
No one cares about books.
who reads?
Who
Definitely no one on this
reads?
podcast. That's not true. You read.
I read.
You read very
I am
consistently.
Jake
currently
dabbles.
reading
I dabble
Hell
in the
Followed With
reading.
Us by Andrew Joseph White.
Who?
What?
I'm currently reading Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. It's about a teenage boy who escapes a cult, but he's like their messiah, so there's like conflict because the church is like, give him back, and he's like, I don't wanna.
That's how I live my life. It's like, no, we really need you, Trevor. I'm like,
And the
"I
author's
wanna."
trans, support queer art.
Quart.
Quart.
Support your local quartist.
What's not quite that term?
That's a specific cracking the vault thing that I have to associate you
Are
all
we?
with. We're quartists.
Are we quartists now?
We've always have been.
Crackheads, crack friends, and quartists.
No. Our artists, our viewers.
Audience.
Are you okay?
Our
Listeners.
listeners are the crackheads and the crack
Audience.
friends, and we are the quartists.
2,000
No
leagues.
conversation.
2000?
20,000.
Out of 0
Yeah.
leagues under the sea.
2,000 plus a 0.
2,000 plus
2000 times 10 to the first.
10. 2,000.
In scientific notation.
Yes. Math. Too much math this episode already.
Trevor and Rachel, I know you two had never seen this before.
Correct.
Jake, I believe you've seen this once.
At some point, I could not tell you when, but I know my eyes have laid upon this film.
So, okay. I want to start with you, actually. What was it like just revisiting this movie for the first time?
was
in the
fun.
book. It was a good time?
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining. I don't know, I kind of like the vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know, I liked it. It kept me entertained.
How about you, Tim? I don't know.
I was very entertained with it, and then it kept
Stop
going.
lying.
No, I genuinely enjoyed this movie. It just kept going. I like at the part where I was like, "This is cool," like this is the ending, and then all of a sudden another thing, and I'm like, "Okay, this is cool," and then another thing, and I'm like, "Okay, now I just don't care. What else are you gonna throw at them? Space? Are we gonna be 20,000 leagues up in space? Because what the fuck?"
Obviously, this was, based on a book by Jules Verne, like kind of one of the like most important figures in all of sci-fi. Rage, you were
Put
talking.
some respect on Mary Shelley.
I didn't say the inventor of sci-fi.
I'm kidding. Chill.
When do you? So, you were telling us before this was like originally released in like a serial format.
Correct. And this movie was an adaptation of one specific episode.
Of one specific episode?
Well, I mean, so the beginning is the beginning. I mean, they go on the ship and get wrecked and get kidnapped by the Nautilus is just the beginning of the story. And then there's a big chunk in the middle that's all of the adventures that they go on while they're stuck in the Nautilus. That was why I asked you during the movie if they found Atlantis during the movie, because that's an episode that happens in the book. They find Atlantis in the submarine. So yeah, this was based off the episode with the giant squid.
But it's not like a couple of episodes. It's like because it feels like
I mean, I
this
guess
is based on like multiple chapters.
I mean, we're keeping in mind that I have read the Wikipedia summaries.
Yeah.
But to my knowledge, I think it was just the one episode, and also there was bits from the beginning of the story and from the end of the story squished in there. So I guess technically it's multiple episodes, but it's like we're counting episode 1 and then an episode in the middle and then the last episode kind of thing.
I think the book, again, haven't read it. I think it's between the adventure stuff. It would make sense if because I've heard it described as kind of a dry book, like ironic. I know.
Wait, dry as in ironic or
No.
Dry as in water, ironic, right? That's what I thought you meant.
What?
Because
dry as in it's a lot of description of underwater and undersea life and all of trying to be as for the time scientifically accurate as possible. And then there's this sci-fi conceit of a submarine and characters that there are adventures happening to.
And an electric submarine. That was the fancy part.
What?
electric submarine.
Gotcha.
It's not that it was a submarine, it's that it was
It's
powered by
an
electricity.
Well,
submarine.
yeah. So I don't know.
In the movie, it was powered by nuclear something.
Yeah, which makes sense because it's
Whatever that bright ass shit was.
I think it makes sense because nuclear energy is probably we're in 1954 right now. We've done no table setting for this, as we never do, but
I mean, that
we're in
doesn't
the nuclear age
necessarily.
right now.
Yeah, the description of the book as dry doesn't necessarily shock me because there's a lot of they
Trevor,
view
you
coral
calm down.
formations. They go to Antarctica. They hunt sharks.
All of this to say, could that be the core of your problem with this movie? That it's a serial format, and so
I
it's
forgot this was still about me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
So did I.
Took a long roundabout.
He doesn't.
It's like a lot of if it's self-contained adventures or different sets of adventures that are kind of just being pulled out of the book and squished together. I don't know.
Again, it is just so odd to me, how we go from natives to giant squid monster, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what is happening?
Because the point is we're going all around the world in all of the seas.
I guess that makes sense, but still, I'm just I don't care anymore. I was you're just gonna escape from the octopus, and then you're gonna have to get to the story.
A funeral part?
The funeral part. Remember when they look out the window and they're carrying like the casket across the ocean floor
Oh, yeah.
in the beginning? That's in the book.
Was that a... Wait, hold on. My brain just remembered about that. Who was the guy in the casket? Why?
I think it was just a member of the crew, right?
Oh, someone just died and they happened
Someone
to...
probably died in, like, the... whatever was happening.
Okay, that makes sense. 'Cause you said funeral, and that reminded me. I was like, wait, I remember they just like funeral, and then they looked up like, oh shit, people are on our ship, and then we never knew about who that person was. And anyways, but I'm sure it was just a funeral that happened to be happening as they were.
Jake, there's some water in this movie.
There's
A little bit. Every
Just-
now and again.
What? You didn't ask me what I thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. I asked both of you what you thought.
You didn't.
Hey, what
You
do
asked
think?
me for context so that you can continue finding out what Trevor thought.
What do you think? What do you think of the movie?
I don't know. I mean, I've read a couple of Jules Verne books before, so it was like interesting to see another movie adaptation. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is not one of them, but I would. It sounds interesting enough. But fun fact, the book sequel to 20,000 Leagues is The Mysterious Island, which you may remember as the popular sequel to the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth starring Josh Hutcherson. Journey to the Mysterious Island.
Did I see that movie?
It had Josh Hutcherson in The Rock
I
and
don't think I saw that.
Vanessa Hudgens.
I don't think I saw. I think I remember seeing that movie come out. I don't think I ever watched that movie. I'm sorry, I can't relate.
It's okay.
I was like,
It's just the book is the sequel to this, but the movie was the sequel to Journey to the Center of the Earth. So very loosely based.
understood. My brain.
Water.
Water.
Water notes.
All right. This is a little movie got a little bit of water in it, just a small amount.
Just the smallest bit.
This is gonna be a long water note section.
Oh, really?
It's just because there's a lot of them I gotta read. The first note I have is the very first opening shot of the movie. It's a ship on water. 5 out of 10. Mid.
Yeah.
It looked like a boat in water. There's a lot of that shot of just that boat on that body of water, and so pretty much all of it was a 5 out of 10.
For sure.
When the Nautilus approaches for the first time, 8 out of 10, it looked fucking cool. When the first storm happens, the water was a 4 out of 10. It was weird. I don't know. After the storm, though, it went up to a 6 out of 10 for some reason.
Okay, we're going up.
When we saw the dolphins, it goes back down to a 4 out of 10 because it just, like, I don't know, the colors were off
I think
to
that
me.
was the documentary film.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah,
they
it
were
was
showing all
part of
the
that
animals,
stuff.
Like, it was just like a random
Yeah, the
killers.
whale water was a 5 out of 10 because it was kind of just, like,
very grainy.
grainy, weird. All the underwater shots I grouped into one 8 out of 10. They were all pretty good. They looked underwater.
8 out of 10 is just pretty good.
Just like in my terms, like yeah, they were good.
Oh, okay. I was like 8 out of
Like,
10
pretty
is
good.
solid water.
Like,
good.
Solid water. There was another storm. Water was a 7 out of 10 there.
Solid water at the
When we
same
got to
time.
the island with the natives, that water, 8 out of 10,
It did
beautiful.
remind me of Jack Sparrow. Then when you said that,
It reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean. That's all I can say. I don't know.
It reminded me of specifically the scene where he's running away with the jar of dirt. Like, it looked exactly like that beach. It looked exactly.
Then when the guy gets to the little drinking drinking pond, 3 to 10 dingy. Cove water when we get back to the like hideout place, the home base.
Mm-hmm.
8 out of 10, very pretty. When the island exploded, oh wait, no, that's a separate score. I'll say that later. When the Nautilus was when the Nautilus was, I have one other note besides water.
There's an explosion score.
Yeah. Nautilus sinking water,
Is that
8 out
another
of 10.
thing
It
we
was
have to
pretty.
add? Explosion.
Atomic energy has punched a hole through reality and created a new scale.
I guess so.
Overall, it was an 8 out of 10 on water for this movie.
8 out of 10 on water.
There was a lot of it, and it was, you know what? It was water.
Yeah, but that- Wow.
So that's that your final
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 water because it's water?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm really glad this wasn't like a 4 out of 10. Like, can you imagine?
Well, I mean, there would have been there was a lot of water. It would have all had to
To
been
look
bad,
bad,
water.
yeah.
If it's
before.
really bad water.
The other note that I have is when the island exploded at the end, it was an 11 out of 10. There's I don't know what scale, but it was 11 out of 10 explosion.
One of the better, at least in this era of like filmmaking,
It
one
was,
of
it
the
was
better
so
explosions I've ever
it was
seen in
so
anything.
many explosions.
There was a lot
It was
where
really big. It was
I
so
like
good.
would literally forget this movie was made in the 50s.
Okay,
There was a few shots where I was just like, what the fuck?
we can talk about this movie as always on this fucking podcast. We just kind of go all around. This feels like such a step up from British land that we've
Yes.
been in.
Oh yeah, no, because like you were
Glad to be
we
out of British land.
Yeah, we were talking about last episode. Is British land is all like costumes and like it looks like this could be done on stage at the community center.
Yeah.
Which is not
Th-
bad.
This very okay. I meant to do this during the movie, but I want to. 1 second.
Then why didn't you, Xander? Be more
I-
prepared.
I never am.
Everyone boos.
I'm prepared. I have like my articles for what I'm gonna reference next already
For the first-
uploaded.
like, yeah, I was like, for the first time I look over, Jake's like his articles are ready. Like he
I'm like,
knows
I'm ready
he has his
for
like.
my next segment.
I have so many things in my brain, and they can't all.
You have multiple.
I have
tabs.
one thing, and it's this movie.
All I know is 20,000.
Leagues Under the Sea. That's all I know.
I said the wrong number again.
Do you keep saying 2000?
Why? What, only 2,000? They went way further than that, Trevor.
Just about as I thought. And there could be like some just how these numbers were kept and like, exchange rates at the time, since some of these were made in England. But comparing the budgets of this to the last few movies we watched, all of the British productions are like in the $2 million range. This movie's budget, $5 million.
Oh, that makes sense for this movie.
You can tell they're pouring more money into this one, if nothing else.
The freaking the squid. Genuinely, I was like, that's CGI, but I'm like, this is the 50. They didn't just
I have a trivia.
say your trivia.
They like shot the whole squid thing during the day, and it looked awful because you could see all the strings like controlling the tentacles. So they reshot it like at night in a like rainstorm kind of effect, and it like covered everything up, and it looks really good.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
worked
no, it
out.
looked good.
Obviously, fucking beans.
Fucking
Sorry.
beans.
Wow.
Sorry, my id overtook me.
The id.
I mean, Jake, I know you like this one, but I think I'm probably the most positive out of all of us on this movie, just in terms of like, I don't know.
Unless
I feel
Jake
like
really likes this one.
I was the least bored during it, and some of the flaws I
The only time that I wasn't watching was when I was researching about the Disney stuff
That
I'm
is
going to
fair.
talk about, because I was like,
just
oh shit, I
really
forgot.
distracted because I was reading about the book.
yeah, that's fair.
But other
Okay.
than like
So
my
we were all vibing.
I do like the
10-minute
book.
stunt of
Never mind.
reading, I
I do like the book.
was watching the entire time.
Okay.
It was I don't know, I enjoyed it.
So
Fun fact:
I
the
wasn't- I
original
was
French
distracted.
title was 20,000 Leagues Under the Seas.
these kinds of special effects heavy, like, this is such a rare breed of movie at this time. A genuinely, like, they're putting a lot of money and care and getting actual big name
Like,
actors
it-
and putting
it
it into
felt
a sci-fi movie.
Like
But specifically,
high
like,
budget. Like it felt like they like had enough to like
Well, they
really
did.
do what they wanted.
yeah.
Versus the other ones were like obviously like they didn't have enough to like really flesh
It-
anything
yeah,
out.
it
Feels
versus
like us making a movie, you know?
Yeah.
It's
It
like-
does show, because they have more money, the things they want to do, they can do.
Yeah.
When there's other people that's like, okay, we don't have enough money to do this, so I guess we can kind of do this.
yeah, it seemed well crafted.
It's, yeah, I don't know. Our boys grown up. I don't
Yeah.
know, they've come through they were born with Song of the South, and it was like, well, it's an ugly child, but we can keep it going. And then it had its weird adolescent period where it was talking with a British accent, and now it's grown up.
And now it's
It had a British accent for hot sec. Don't know where that was, but
I can't understand you when you're speaking in a British accent. I can't. That's a quote no one's gonna understand.
Nope.
I had a thought.
You had a thought?
We can do. Are we doing like a movie recap for this?
We can. I
Or
have
just like
I
a
have notes.
general movie recap.
I mean, I think in
Right.
general.
It's broken. Oh, why?
Is that on the floor?
So I mean, the setup of the movie is that there is this mysterious like sea monster attacking,
Ships.
trade ships and stuff or warships. And so, there's a call to arms for sailors. Which is where we meet Kirk Douglas, king of Hollywood at this point, ender of the blacklist himself. And then there's the scientist man, played by some dude, and his associate, played by Peter Lorre, who is very much not some dude. And then, I don't know, they go out to sea, the ship they're on gets destroyed, after they see some stock footage.
The amazing.
They saw the stock footage.
They were like, "Oh my god, look at the whale!" And it's like a screen pops up, and there's just like really grainy footage. Closes, and they continue.
And yeah, their ship gets destroyed by
Sci-fi.
the sea monster, except it's not a sea monster. It's
summer
it's the Nautilus, and it's captained by
My
a
favorite summer weed.
weirdly
Captain
hot man.
Elmo.
Kirk Douglas lived to be 104 years old.
You're goddamn right. He died in 2020, I think.
Holy shit.
What a time to die. 2020. I'm sorry, dude.
I don't even think he died of COVID. I think he was just old.
He was 104.
It was bound to happen soon.
Yeah, no, he was
It's impressive he got that far.
kind of really.
Especially living in this time. Are you're telling me he wasn't drinking and doing cocaine?
Oh, he probably
people's
was.
asses?
His body was just
They
built
haven't
different.
said.
What?
What?
They haven't said what killed
Oh,
him.
what?
Oh.
I'm gonna assume old.
I'm gonna assume he's not dead.
You think he's still?
Hot take.
Technically,
He's not
he
dead,
was
he just went home.
103
They
'cause it
didn't
was
confirm he
before his
died. He's
birthday.
not dead.
So then it's 2024. So he's like,
He's 108.
His birthday's in October.
we need to find him. We need to find him.
His birthday's in December.
December.
I think we need to find Kirk Douglas.
So
and
he was
interview him for this
freshly
podcast,
103.
if he'll have us.
Can we guest star with?
Oh, come on, he has living progeny. Don't be mean.
Okay. Can we get Michael Douglas?
that I can get
Whatever.
behind.
We can summon his ghost.
How do you presume we do
Look
that?
at Ouija.
Ouija.
Is
Ouija?
the spirit
I don't
of Kirk Douglas with us
Can
right
you
now?
burn a Luigi board?
Dude, how do you? That would be a weird podcast to do. Oh my gosh, guys, it's saying yes. You can't see anything, but we're moving it, and it said yes.
Watch Spartacus.
Well, guys, you heard him. God.
So anyway, the ship's
We're
captain.
with Mr. Nemo now.
Mr. Nemo.
Yep, Mr.
Captain Nemo.
Captain Nemo.
It is weird that
Yeah, sure.
that name was chosen for Finding Nemo because it was a famous literary reference, and now for a generation, it is no longer a literary reference.
Yeah.
It's a Nemo reference now.
If you say Nemo, I'm not gonna think of that man. That's not gonna be the one.
Apparently, Kirk Douglas was a little bit of an ass.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
And do you know the name Burt Lancaster?
Nope.
Yeah.
Was quoted once as saying, Kirk would be the first to tell you that he is a very difficult man, and I would be the second.
that
That's funny.
is the quote of a lifetime. That's the quote I want. He needs to have that written on his freaking headstone. That is the line. He said his line, and that's it. Then he can now leave.
Alright. What happens?
Died in 1994.
There's a funeral.
That'd be
They
on his
hop on
headstone.
board. Mr. Nemo's like, yo, get off my ship.
Yeah.
They get back on the ship.
Yeah.
They have adventures and shit
Well, at
happens.
first,
Yeah, I mean,
They battle some ships.
I kind of wanted to yada yada through that opening bit because really, this movie is a few big set pieces, and in between that, we're just kind of vibing. we're just kind of vibing on the ship. That's probably where Trevor's patience is tested.
Grr.
I almost wonder if you would like it more if all of the scenes of talking were cut out and it was just like all of the, or the other way around. I don't know.
We need a director's cut of both of them, and just let's find out. Let's do a study.
Just the talking cut and the action cut, and they do not overlap at all.
We're in the seas. They kind of like
We're maybe
make them
about
go
10,000
and
leagues
hunt.
in.
7,000.
They go and hunt.
They
That's
do.
kind of fun.
They-
That's like my
actually
favorite
do
bit
really
of.
like
I
those
thought it
episodes.
was funny because like imagine being in a time where you could just grab a random person, put them in a suit, and then throw them
Yeah.
underwater.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
Yeah, and like they literally just like throw them into the water and just go have fun,
I genuinely,
go work.
it's kind of cool just process shit, seeing them, go out into the water and, open all of the traps and stuff. And
That was
replenish their supplies.
I remember there was a lot of times we said like it looked fun as an actor
Yeah.
to just be like, imagine putting on one of those suits and like you're just literally floating around and like throwing shit around. Like I would love doing that.
I think that's kind of where the I don't know. This functions pretty well as like a solid adventure movie, despite having, a lot of these kind of drawn out conversations between the professor and Nemo talking about just morality and shit, which
I enjoy.
I'm here for.
Yeah, I'm here for
I think
it.
that balances it out. But then in between that, it is a lot of that stuff where it's like, oh, that looks so fun to do.
Yeah.
Obviously it'd be like hell if you were actually there, but I just want to put on a
Dive
swimsuit
suit
and like
get in there.
just be in the water,
Just kind of bounce around. I don't know.
grab a shark or whatever, punch a shark.
At some
What
point,
happens with the shark?
Mr. Douglas writes some notes in bottles and like throws them out.
That's
There's
way further.
that is way.
I mean, all that's in between is some like ship shit.
Well,
So yeah, I mean, let's just the general like ship stuff is the professor is very enamored with Nemo. King of Hollywood Kirk Douglas is not, and is just kind of a meathead and plays his turtle guitar with a seal.
It was really sad seeing him rip apart a turtle to make a fucking guitar or whatever that was. But
The tune was good enough. How do we feel about Whale of a Tale as a song?
I never want to hear the song ever
Yeah,
again.
fair enough.
I don't mind it. To be fair,
Literally, my note was "fuck off." I was like, I don't care about this one song this one man made.
They knew they had a hit.
song.
They really had to. They were milking that hit.
The first time it was showed, I was like, "This is cool. This is awesome." And then the second time, I was like, "Okay, it's like a callback and stuff." And then it just kept going. And I'm like, "Okay, we've called back 4 times. I understand he made this song. I understand. I don't want to hear Whale of a Tale. Him just humming it. I'm like, I don't care about your song." He made one song and he's like, "Guys, I'm rich. Like, I'm an artist." That I have really.
Maybe that's the plot of this movie. He like gets back to shore and they're set for life because he like, sells the rights to his song.
It's a whale of a tail.
Hey, I was working something while I was on the ship here. I think, I wasn't confident in it the first time, but after the next 70 times, I really think it's.
I think this might be it.
I mean, genuinely, that's how music making goes, where it's like 70th time, good.
I think there is a phenomenon. Like, this has
multiple.
been tested. That if Jake, you are dying inside.
I said
That was the
something.
dumbest thing ever. Did you hear him?
I said a really bad joke.
I mean, there's a phenomenon. He went. There's a lot of them, and I just went.
It's called comedy.
You're not good at it.
Yeah, I think we're all good.
How many's in a Brazilian again?
What?
The
fuck?
The way you both looked at me, you were so concerned that I meant it.
I was like, what the fuck does that
My
even
brain
mean?
just went, Rachel.
I didn't even know how to like address it. I was just like, what?
What?
I don't know. Kirk Douglas and Peter Lorre tried to escape multiple times. They are
They failed.
thwarted because
Any
fuck these
relation?
guys. What?
Peter
What?
Lorre, any relation
To who?
to the other famous actor whose last name is Lorre?
Lorre is how Peter Lorre's last name is spelled.
Gotcha.
I keep losing my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what we were saying.
They were escaping.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were
Escaping, they
I
got
don't know.
thwarted a bunch.
But, like, that's the plot of the movie. And then eventually, like, the big nameless empire that Nemo is running from that, like, enslaved him and his family and are trying to get his nuclear power.
You did that on purpose.
I know. I don't know. And they find him and he blows everything up. That's the movie. That's like that is the plot.
Yeah.
And then there's like 3 or 4 big set pieces interspersed with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
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 In the book, he's Indian, and he tried to take part in, I forget what it was called, but like a real historical Indian rebellion, and that was why his family got killed.
Mm.
And then he was like, "Fuck you guys," and left.
Fuck you guys. I was.
So he's not. Yeah.
I wanted to know this. I wrote a few things down. There was just a lot of things. Like, first off, I just thought it was funny. I said it to you. They specifically eat unborn octopus. And
Don't.
it's like a pudding, and it's white. And cum.
Mhm.
That's where I'm going with this.
Trevor
and
thinks it's cum. Is it cum?
what is an unborn octopus? What is white liquid that is an unborn octopus?
The rest I'm not legally allowed to put on some of the platforms. I'm not legally allowed to put what was supposed to be said on some of the platforms we go to. But if you follow our Patreon, you can go hear that cut content. Hey. Anyways, I'm going to get us to a part where I can put on some of these places. Anyways, continue.
I can't use any of that. So, hi guys, welcome back to.
After a short little break.
There's just a little commercial break.
No commercial?
A commercial break without the
It
commercial.
was considered a lucky charm after death for a samurai
No,
to
no
carry
more.
Shunga.
No more. We're not talking about that.
So samurais just carried wooden porn in their pockets?
I don't care
Wooden
about,
shunga?
I all need something.
I don't care about the shunga anymore, okay?
I do!
This,
I care deeply about the shunga, okay?
you can have your porn bricks, okay?
It was common amongst groups like
We
samurai
don't
and
need more porn bricks.
shonen who were typically separated from
Learn-
the opposite sex.
Learn about porn bricks later. Porn bricks,
So, like,
take your porn
give
building
the
blocks
porn-
away. Porn building blocks off the table, okay?
Here's a question for everyone.
Could you
That
play
I've been just
Jenga with
kinda-
them?
I have to go to the
Trev,
bathroom.
Jake, everyone, shut up. Okay. If you wait, where are you going?
I have to go to
Bathroom.
the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, I can ask them when they get back. If you were given the opportunity to just live with Captain Nemo on this sub forever, would you take it?
No, because you just said I have to die, so all of you are gonna die with me. No, I'm okay.
Well, that's because some people like fuck this shit up, you know? What if it's like the 3 of us are found by Captain Nemo and we're chilling.
I don't think I'd go with Captain Nemo.
You don't think you would?
I don't think I would vibe with Captain Nemo.
It
Okay.
would depend on how our relationship had developed. I think
Up to
right
that
off the bat, like after seeing this movie, about halfway in, I would be like, yeah, I think I could vibe with him.
Gotcha.
By the end, I don't know. It'd have to be how our relationship has developed. But from like first views, possibly. Potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. One night stand for sure, but like not staying with him.
We weren't asking if you wanted to fuck him.
Oh
Well-
no, that's the only reason I would stay with him. And then after it happened, I'd be like, I did it. And then I'd be like, where's the bus stop? Where do I get off?
Ocean, Trevor.
Where's the submarine stop? When can I leave? I don't like him, okay?
Trevor fucking go to the captain quarters like, hey sailor. need to
David.
play that organ.
Listen, I don't know who the actor was, but let me tell you.
James Mason?
James
fucking Mason. A
James
fantastic actor.
Mason.
He's very attractive.
Oh, I know. The
He
entire.
is. Despite the whitewashing going on here, God, he's a snack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gay.
Uh-huh.
No, I wouldn't stay with him. I couldn't do it.
I have seen him. I'm just looking at the 4 things I've seen James Mason in. I've seen him in A Star Is Born. He's the fucking.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
He's in the 1954 version.
I haven't seen that one either, honestly.
I was gonna say Star Is Born. I was like, not the new one, right?
My thinking was he was just some like old dude in it, and I was like, okay.
How
Yeah,
old
he
would
was-
he be in that?
I don't know.
Too old.
Yeah,
Too
past
old.
100.
I don't care.
Like he was like 20.
He
in
could
that,
have been
and this
in it.
movie was like 70 years ago.
No, he was like
So in
he
his
was
90s?
the romantic lead of A Star Is Born at the time. Like he's the.
Sorry.
You know, we haven't talked about the director at all. Do you guys know the name Fleischer at all?
Nope. This was I have.
So, Fleischer Animation Studios was like one of the earliest animation studios, like pioneer it as a medium animation studios by fucking Max and Dave Fleischer. The reason I bring them up is because Max Fleischer's son, Richard Fleischer, is the director of this movie, and he would go on to make just kind of movies like this, from my understanding. Just very kind of classical, unfussy, good-looking special effects showcases. And that's what he was, like, brought on board for throughout his career.
No, this movie again, it blew me away sometimes with like my brain had to remind myself like this is the 50s. I was like, whoa.
I believe this won the Oscar for visual effects at the time.
I could believe it. It looked really good. Like I think some of the visual effects stand up to today's. Like I know,
Yeah.
obviously you can tell it's the 50s.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's that thing with old movies where it's like, I mean, yeah, I know it's fake. I know I'm looking at like a model when I'm looking at the Nautilus, kind of going under the water, especially. But like, it's just
cool.
so nice to look at a physical thing.
Yeah, it's cool.
it's
cool to
cool
look at.
because go ahead.
So it won 2 Academy Awards and was nominated for a 3rd. At the 27th Annual Academy Awards, it won Best Art Direction of a Color Movie
I think that is
and
valid.
Best Special Effects, and it was nominated for editing, but it did not win.
Okay.
I think that's all pretty valid.
Yeah.
Like I think
Valid.
this is a gorgeous looking movie.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me that this is long enough ago that they had to distinguish the color movies from the black and white ones.
That was I mean, like color was a thing during the 40s and the 50s. I think by the end of this, either the end of the 50s or like the very start of the 60s is when they eliminate that delineation. But there were still a lot of movies being made in black and white at this point that were using the the limitations to their fullest advantage.
Didn't Psycho come out around now?
Psycho comes out in 1960. So yeah.
So around now.
Yeah,
It's 50, it's 54.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was like, what colors are the 60s?
I mean, editing, I think, like again, very direction-wise, especially when, Mr. Fleischer is just kind of doing scene work with actors. It's very, it's a lot of just wide shots with the actors kind of being allowed to play in the frame, but the editing is kind of what ties it together.
Part of what's nice about that is the ship is very small,
Yeah.
and so like even wide shots aren't even super wide because
Right.
it's
You're
only
feeling the
like a
space and you're feeling the
There is a lot
crampedness.
of like scenes I'm gonna call them the one shots that were like there's a lot of them that's like the camera's here and it follows people, but it's
Yeah.
just like in this corner of the room and it's watching people, and then it goes to the next scene. I was like, that was actually kind of cool. Like they did this entire like 10-minute scene
Yeah.
all in one take, and if it is cut, it fooled me, but like
It's a lost art that just does not exist.
I was thinking, like, there was one part. It was when the three of them were in one of the cabins and they were all arguing. I was sitting there for a second. I was like, this has been going on for a while and it hasn't cut away. I was like, they just did this.
I think that's part of why like this movie has continued to hold up for me, is because I don't know, you feel like kind of a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I kind of like that. Like, again, like the crampedness Jake was talking about. Like, it's still giving that, like, you're in this one room, but also it's like I kind of feel like I'm just in the corner. I'm like watching people talk.
Rich, you missed this while you were in the bathroom, but I posed the question. If you were given the opportunity by Captain Nemo to join him just on this ship for the rest of your life, would you take it?
Absolutely the fuck not.
Okay.
Are you kidding?
Cool.
They said that, like, they were like, yeah, sure, and I was like, nope.
I said
No way.
possibly. I
Yeah.
did.
Well,
The
that's what I said. You
deep
guys were like,
ocean? The deep ocean is already like one of my worst fears.
Right.
space in the
I
deep
would
ocean
not
is also
survive.
I feel like I am
I'm
the Professor
interested.
Aronnax of this group, where I'm like, yeah, sure.
I feel
And
like
I'm the companion guy who's just like, yeah, for science.
Yeah.
Jake's just
Cool.
kind of like,
Well, then you fucking run off with Trevor
And
and,
I'm
like,
like,
conspire against us, and then we all die, and it's your fault actually.
yeah, Jake.
No,
You
it's his
alerted
fault.
the Empire.
Don't fuck.
Oh, actually, no, you're right. You alerted the Empire. Fuck you, Trevor.
I only gave everyone space herpes. That's all I did. It's really fun.
Not to step on Parks Rep, but just because I'm on the Wikipedia page and it said there's at one point was a dark ride at Tokyo Disney Sea. Does that still exist?
It's different from
guess so,
it's
yes.
it's different than the Disneyland Disney World version, because it's more of like kind of a, I can only describe it as like a Little Mermaid dark ride, so you're in like individual pods, I guess.
Is this
I think it's an omnibus.
I haven't. I've
Is this an
only
appropriate time
been.
to
This-
segue into
I was gonna
Parks
say
Rep?
This
segue.
is a good segue, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
So this is, I kind of learned new information for me.
Awesome.
So I'll start with this one. I got two different rides actually.
Oh.
One a ride for the second one. It's quotations for ride.
Gotcha.
So the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea submarine voyage in Magic Kingdom opened in October 14th, 1971. It
So
was
that opened before the Disneyland version.
the Disneyland ride opened
It's the Florida
August 5th, 1955.
Okay.
one. Okay, so 71 and 55.
It was a
Wait, so they're both opening day attractions. So.
yes. This one was a guest favorite and remained popular through its existence, but it was expensive and had a low hourly capacity, so they booked it September 5th, 1994. It was it was based on the movie, obviously, and it was a retheming of the submarine voyage attraction at Disneyland, which didn't ever become 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh.
They took that, made it this in Disney World, and then Disneyland turned Submarine Voyage, which was just the yellow boats, into Nemo.
Oh, that's
This ride, it was a 20-minute submarine ride through a lagoon filled with sea life and like mermaids. It was in Fantasyland, and right now in its place is Ariel's Grotto Meet and Greet, Pooh's Playful Spot, and the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, or where that used to reside.
okay. Interesting. Damn.
Now
RIP.
in Disneyland, again opened August 5th, 1955. It was a walkthrough with props and shit from the film.
Oh, I think I knew about that.
The organ from the movie was later put in Haunted Mansion in the I think the attic scene, somewhere up in there.
Organ from this?
The organ that was in the ship is in the Haunted Mansion in
right now
Disneyland.
still?
I
It's fucking
believe
awesome.
so.
So someone
Somewhere
write
in the
that down
organ.
so we can remember that for the next time we go to Disney, because I want to look for that.
We'll report back. to see if we can find
Disneyland
Nemo's
Paris
organ.
has a walkthrough as well that opened at some point. It was also inspiration for the queue of the Tokyo Disney Seas one as well. But yeah,
Interesting.
that's that information. It closed August 28th, 1966. It was replaced by Adventure Through Inner Space, which I think.
I mean that. So it made way for better things.
Yeah, I may guess it's where Innovations was.
Where would that be now? In Disneyland?
It's right. It's by Pizza Port and Autotopia. It's like in the middle of those two. It's the big round building where Innovations and the Star Wars shit
Oh.
was. That's where my guess it was,
That would make much sense.
because it makes
though.
sense. They put it there because they didn't have a sponsor for the location yet, so
So they were
like,
just like, we
we'll
made this
throw-
last year. Fuck.
the sets in this, and yeah.
Oh shit, we made this last year. Here.
Yeah, that's my Disney information on this.
That's actually really interesting. Half those things.
In the queue for the grotto meet and greet in Disney World, there's a little, in the rocks, there's a little Nautilus like carved out that you can see as a little tribute to the ride.
That's so cute.
The ride itself. Now, I don't know. I don't want to like shit on old attractions, but also, I think the way some people tend to talk about the now gone attractions tends to maybe be in a more, idealized way than they might have actually been. What I am asking is, was the 20,000 Leagues ride boring from what you can tell?
It sounds like it's exactly what the Nemo ride is and what Submarine Voyage in Disneyland was, where it's literally you sit down for 20 minutes in a submarine that goes in a circle and you look at things out the windows.
Right. So that had to have been boring, right?
Well,
I
it
enjoyed the Nemo
lasted-
ride, so I think I would have enjoyed it.
Gotcha.
I feel like it was.
I think
there
for,
a
like,
while.
people who,
So
like-
people enjoyed it.
People who like them, it was like a guest favorite throughout its existence.
Fair.
Like, yeah, that's what you were
There
saying.
also was probably I'm probably speaking from like a more modern perspective looking back.
I'm sure
where
at
it's
the
like,
time submarines weren't like people didn't just like go on submarines.
Yeah,
So it was like, oh, like we're going and sitting under the water,
I feel like back then the idea of a submarine was way more interesting
Yeah,
than it is
right.
now.
like just like, oh, we're like existing, looking under the water.
like holy shit, you
That's-
can do that.
yeah, but like now it's like, of course you can
Like,
use that.
yeah, obviously you can look.
They tried 20,000 Leagues in 2009, and you know who was originally going to direct it?
David Fincher.
The timer's still going.
Real weird.
It probably would have been really dark and probably, but also like I don't know. We'll never know.
I haven't. Oh my Jesus! What the fuck
Oh.
was that? I haven't ridden that submarine version
Oh,
at
the
all.
Nemo ride.
I haven't ridden the
Oh,
Nemo
I
one.
love
I
it.
was there when it was the other one. Like I haven't.
On one of
I've never
my
ridden it either.
I've
solo
never been in one
trips,
of
it
those
was the
submarines.
last ride of my trip, and I ran from there all the way to Galaxy's Edge to pick up my lightsabers.
I remember the story.
No, it wasn't my last ride. And then on my way back, I went through Fantasyland, and as I walked up to each ride, they were closing the gates. And then Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was the last ride, and they just sighed. And I ran in and sat down, and they didn't even like check the lap bar. They were just like, go in. And I swear to God, the ride was on like 1.25 speed. It was like,
probably
and going
was.
through and done. And I was like, thanks. I'll take my leave.
I mean, if they have the power to do that, they were probably trying to get you the fuck out.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
It felt like it was
with
like, I was like,
the-
holy shit, we
at
were
the
like
end of our last
zooming.
trip with the wheelchair.
That was great. That was a core memory.
what?
Fucking
Our
you
last
missed
Disney
it.
trip, the three of us stayed at the park until it closed, and the thing that we did at the very end of the day was go around all the dark rides in Fantasyland, and we had to go up to the exit because I had the wheelchair. And normally they do like here, come back at this time, like fast pass type thing, but it was like 11:55 at night, so we were like, can we go?
We rode.
No, I've never sat in my butt in one of those submarines ever.
I
once.
really want to.
Well,
do
you
it.
like,
And then disaster strikes. The audio cuts out and starts to just get all jumbled and turn into a mess. So, hi, it's Editing Trevor here to tell you the final scores. We did them out of 5 7Cs is how we calculated our last numbers. We had Trevor and Jake at 3 7Cs out of 5. I don't know how to speak words. Rachel at 2 7Cs out of 5, and Xander at 4 7Cs out of 5. I'm sorry this happened, and the entire episode was hard to listen to, and that now I have to describe the entire end of the video. We're professionals. Just remember that. You can, other editing, Trevor, take it away. I don't want to talk. Thank you guys. I'm sorry we're stupid. Bye-bye. Thank you guys so much for listening. This episode was hosted by Xander, Jake, Trevor, and Rachel. Edited by Trevor and mastered by Rachel. We also want to give a huge shout out to our composer and artist who made our theme song and cover photo. Their links are going to be down in the description. Our links are going to be down there too. Lastly, we want to give a huge heartfelt thanks to our patrons.
Still none, but thank you guys.
And remember, this podcast would not be possible without all your support. From all of us inside the vault, thanks again for listening, and see you real soon.